Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for Spring into Summer. My name is Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. So to play this song just like the track, we need to be in drop D tuning. There is a way to play it without, but I'm going to be showing you with drop D to get you as close to the sound of the track as possible. So that means getting your E string into a D sound, so this sound. Now the song starts off with an open D major chord, which is just a regular D major chord that you'll play in standard tuning, but we're also going to include that open D string. So the fingers you need are 2 on the G string, 3 on the B, and a 2 on the high E string. And what we're going to do is we'll play that chord basically twice, and then on the D string we're going to slide up to fret 4 and play 4-2-0. Now you can use multiple fingers for that. You could go if you want to. However, what I'm going to do, in fact I'm going to use 2 fingers, because then we need to get 5, 5 and 5 on the E, A and D strings. This is essentially a power chord but in drop D tuning. But we're also going to include the open B and E strings. Avoid the high E string. Now you may have noticed when I played the introduction, you saw my finger down here. I'm just lightly pressing on the string, while touching the string, no pressing at all, to mute it, so I can get this sound. So we want to avoid that E string. I can't hear that on the track, so we're going to avoid it. So what happens is we basically cycle between those chords 3 times with that melody in between. For example, nice and slow. 1, 2. And we're going to pad out, as in just fill out the space with that extra chord. This is technically a G major chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that G chord is anticipated. It comes in early. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. I pushed early there. And throughout this song, they play around with bringing that chord in early, or playing it on the beat where it normally should. For example, you can see there I played it on the beat. There was a little pause before it. You'll have to go through, have a listen, because they seem to do it sometimes every other time or every time. It seems to be almost a little bit random in this song when that is anticipated. So for that introduction, we play it through twice. And then when Lizzy starts to sing, we play it 3 more times in a row before we have a change. Now it's worth mentioning that there are a couple of different parts to this song, and the structure's a little bit of a strange one. So if you are interested in getting the full chord chart for this, as well as the chords and the lyrics matched up, let's say you want to sing and play along or just play along to the track, head on over to Patreon, where I've wrote everything out professionally, and for the cost of a coffee, you get everything, including 350 other songs of the latest releases, plus a few of Lizzy's songs off her past couple of albums. So feel free to check that out in the link in the description. Now to end that first verse, after you've played the D and the G shape 3 times, we go to fret 2, and we build that chord up again, and we're going to play that for 1.5 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then slide that finger back up to fret 5, which is our now G power chord, and play that for the last 2 beats. So I'm going to play through the verse because it's a really important part of the song. We're going to see this a lot. So I'm going to cycle through it all, and I'll shout out the chords as I go. So the D. There's the G. Back to D. G again. 3rd time. Here comes the E minor chord. E minor again. G. So you have just played the first verse, and looking over to my note, there is then a bit of a break where the chords basically stay the same for the most part, and there's no vocals. It's just kind of a nice instrumental part in between a verse and another verse. And that break is just the D and the G chord twice round. There's twice round, and at that point we go to a second verse. And again, looking over to my notes, it is exactly the same as the first verse. D to G, D to G, D to G, then the E minor going up to a G. But the difference being on this verse is the E minor, normally you'd play for a bar and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, G. In this verse, we play just 4 beats of the E minor and 4 beats of the G, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, a very subtle difference there. So you're going to notice these little subtle differences all the way through the song. So yeah, it might be worth checking out that link over on Patreon so you've got everything there so you don't have to try and memorize it, because if you're anything like me, I forget everything. That's why I have my notes over to one side to help me remember. Anyway, after that, there is another break after that second verse where we just play the same chords as of the verse again. We then have another verse section, just Lizzy's doing a little bit of a different singing approach to that, and then we get to a bridge, and the bridge is different, and it is quite different in fact, because we have a new chord of C major. So yeah, the key changes, I think this is a brilliant section. C major is 3 on the A string, 2 on the D, an open G, 1 on the B, and an open E string. And what we're going to do is play that chord. We then go to the G shape, which we're going to play for a bar. Then a D major, and then an A major chord. A major is an open A string, 2, 2, 2 on the D, G and B, and then an open E string. So we play those chords twice for the bridge, C to G, D to A twice, before it then goes to an A minor chord, which is an open A string, 2, 2 on the D and G, 1 on the B, that's what makes it a minor, and then an open E string. Then we go to the E minor chord before going up to a bar of G. So I'm going to play through the full bridge section so again you can see how all of this fits together. C, G, D, A. That would repeat before we go to A minor, E minor, G. So yeah, another section that looks a bit interesting there. I really enjoy that part of the song. It then goes back to the set of chords that we have already got used to. So we go back to that D. We play through that. Basically it's a verse and then a break section, so just keep repeating those chords before we get to an outro, which is the D chord to G, then D to G, G. You play it for a third time. We then go to the E minor for a bar, and then the G shape after that. But the kicker is we want to be nice and gentle with our playing, because on the track the song's kind of, fading away a little bit. But yeah, so nice and light with your strumming hand for that last section of the song. And there we go, a really nice song. Now if you would prefer to play this in standard tuning, keep it in standard tuning, and whatever chords I've said, just play them as you normally would. You can get away with it in standard tuning, just watch out for the E string. However, to play it exactly like the track, you want to keep it in drop D. So please do consider getting the extra material over on Patreon. In fact, the people on the screen are my active patrons. The moment this video goes live, they'll get access to that content so they can play along to this song until they're worn out and need to go to bed. No idea why I said that. Anyway, I think it's time for me to go to bed, so I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.